Okay, this lesson is going to be how to use the iGoogle feature to collect bookmarks and feeds so that you can be up to date on what's going on in your niche. If we say that blogging content should be linked to the conversation going on in the blogosphere about your niche, your product, or your buyers, how do you keep up with all of that? How do you keep up? Do you surf the web every day and just kind of stumble onto blogs? No, you create a bank of feeds, and we're going to do that with the iGoogle feature. So I've got the Google homepage up here. In order to use iGoogle, you have to have a Google account or Gmail account. So you set one of those up if you don't already have one. I do have one, so I'm going to sign in here, and I'm going to show you what an iGoogle account looks like from somebody that's been doing it for a long time. So in order to get to iGoogle, once you sign in, you just go to iGoogle. And it'll take you to your iGoogle homepage. And mine is large, so it's taking a few minutes to, it's taking a little while to download. But I have over 100 feeds in this system. And I have so many feeds that I have them separated into categories. So here is my home page. You'll see it says home here. These are feeds that I want to look at every day. These are really no particular order other than I either like them so much or I want to be able to find them quickly. They're not niche related. You can see there's a news feed here, Google News. My own feeds are there. This is a state of Maryland feed, a couple of bloggers that I like. So this is my home feed. If you look at this tab, you'll see I have a page of feeds on literature. This is all about books and what's going on in the writing world. I have a page on Ireland because I write a lot about Ireland. So this gives me things. This right here, I love this one. This is a webcam of what O'Connell Street looks like live. Sometimes that just gets me in the mood. I have one on travel because I am a travel writer. So these are all my travel feeds. What does a feed mean? Well, right here, the New York Times Travel, this one here, that is a blog site that is updated by bloggers. So the most recent post is right here. Table Talk, Spago turns 30. I can expand these to see a little bit of the post to see if I want to click on it or not. I can even expand the whole thing so that it shows me more than what I can see just in those three. And then I can go directly to the site and read the post or not. So New York Times has several, and here's a few. You can move these around. If I decide that I think Arthur Fromer is going to be somebody I want to see every day and follow him, I might put that one up there. Each one of these is a blog feed, and it's in my niche in travel. I have one on PR, public relations. I'm just starting that one. And then I have this one, which is blogs I love. These are bloggers that I like to read. So what they have in common is they are bloggers I like. So that's one that's done, been going on for a good while. That's taken me a while to put together. Now I'm going to show you what it's like to actually build one. I've signed out again, and I'm going to now sign in as someone that really has no blogs, no feeds to speak of. And you'll see what it's like when you're just starting one. When you first sign on to iGoogle, it'll have some gadgets already set for you, and these are some of the ones that it automatically populates. Your Gmail account, the mail that's in that particular Gmail account, which in this case is Wisecracker, is the name of that Gmail account. And I don't want any of these. I don't want to see the weather, so I'm going to delete this. I don't want these gadgets mucking up my feeds. You know, this iGoogle is a real social tool, and if you go to the gadget, add gadgets, you can see there's all kinds of things you can add. You can add weather, you can add the calendar. There's hundreds and hundreds of them. You can pick by categories, you can do games, you can share games, you can do technology, politics, sports. So you can choose a bunch of gadgets they have pre-done, and you can also choose several different themes to make your iGoogle page look the way you like it. I did that for a while and found out that it was hard enough to get the thing to load. I didn't want to add anything to it, so I don't use a particular theme. So we have to add gadgets. There's two ways to do it. One way is you can search for it, and this wastes a lot of time if you're looking for bloggers and feeds. These are really for gadgets. You can add a feed manually, which I'll show you in a second, or you can just add a feed from the actual blog. I've already pulled up 5 blogs that I like and I want to add to the iGoogle page for Wisecracker. And if you look at them, this one is famous bloggers, and it's mostly about business and blogging. And this one is also about blogging. This is Darren Rouse's site. This one is about Ireland. I write a lot about Ireland. This one is about travel writing. And this one again is about PR and marketing. So if you look at these are, I don't want to put these all on my home page because I want to have categories. So I'm going to create a couple of different pages. So I'm going to go back to iGoogle and look at my tab. I have one tab and all it has is this in it. That's my home tab. But I'm going to add another tab. I'm going to add a tab that is blogging and marketing. And I'm going to add another tab, add a tab that is travel. And that'll just take into consideration all of my, now see what I did here when I originally, let's delete this tab and I'll show this to you again. When I put this up here, add a tab, this was checked, which says automatically add stuff based on this tab's name. I always like to try that because you never know, they might add something I want. Look, it didn't even add it. No relevant content. Look for new stuff. Nah, I'm not going to do that. So I've got my travel. I've got travel, I've got blogging and marketing, and I've got home. Here's the rub. If you go here and want to add content, you do it by finding the feed, which is here. This is the icon associated with feed. But before you do that, you've got to make sure iGoogle is on the right tab. So if I want to add this in to my iGoogle, I have to make sure the proper tag is selected. Right now, I'm on the travel tab. I don't want to be on that. I want to be on the blogging and marketing tab. Now, I don't have any content in here, but this is highlighted. So I go to this, I click the feed. It's going to give me a choice of what to use as my reader. I'm going to click Google right here, and it's going to give me 2 choices. Add to Google Reader or add to the Google homepage. iGoogle is the same as the Google homepage. So there we have it. I'm on my blogging and marketing tab, and famous bloggers, which is that right there, has been automatically added to that tab. So if I want to go into blogging a state of mind, that's another one that needs to go into that same tab, which is selected. So I find the feed. This is the feed button here. I do the same thing. I subscribe using Google. That's already chosen. So I click subscribe now. I click home page. Now I have 2 blocks on my iGoogle marketing page. When I look at this one, this is going to be travel. So I go back to the iGoogle homepage and I click on travel, because whatever you have selected here, that's where your feed's going to go. And right now, iGoogle, last I checked, does not have a way to move a feed from one tab to another. You have to delete it and recreate it. So I've got travel checked, and I'm going to find the feed, which is here. It's going to take me to a, what do you want to use? Google is already checked. Subscribe now. It gives me the choices. Google homepage. And there, my travel tab now has this on it. Let's go to this one. This is Jay Waljasper, and he's a travel writer. This I'm going to want to have in travel as well. So let's see where the feed icon is here. I don't see one. I don't see a feed icon, and this happens. Home, writer, speak, articles. So I'm just going to go up here and double click on the URL at the top of the page. I'm going to copy that using Control C or Command C depending on Windows or Mac. I'm going to go back to iGoogle. I'm in the travel section. I'm going to click Add a Gadget. And down here where it says Add a Feed or a Gadget, I'm going to click that. I'm going to highlight where the address is. I'm going to paste in what I saw and see if he has a feed. He does not have a feed. This is important. If it says not found, what that means is that J. Wallace Waljasper has not embedded a feed into his blog. It really isn't a blog, it's a web page. Sometimes I'll look through all of the... He doesn't really have any content that's going to change. He doesn't want to update readers. So he doesn't have a way to add his feed. That happens rarely, but it does happen. Let's try it here. We have a feed symbol here, which I could click, but just for the sake of showing you how to add it manually, we'll go to PR squared. This would go in my marketing tab. So I'm going to click the URL address. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to iGoogle. I'm going to click on the tab that I want it to appear in. Then Add Gadget. Go down here to Add Feed or Gadget. Highlight the area. Paste my URL. Click Add. And you'll see here it says Added. PRSquared.com. That's because PR Squared has a feed in there embedded into this site. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a blog per se to have a feed. People can put feeds in any page that they want to change the content and allow it to be updated. So you look for the RSS feed. If you can't find it, then you click on the URL and try to add it manually here. So if we go back again to iGoogle and we look at the blogging and marketing, you'll see it's right there, PR Squared. So that's how you build your iGoogle bank of feeds.